40 adults in one town remember the same children's show, the same pirate, the same lighthouse. They remember being terrified of it. There is just one problem. According to every broadcast record that still exists, it was never on the air. Welcome back to the archive. The file I'm opening tonight isn't one recording. It's a conversation. A thread from a local message board, recovered before the site went dark, between people who grew up in the same small harbor town. They were trying to remember a show from their childhood. A show called Tallow Cove. What they found instead is the reason I don't let this tape play after midnight. The thread starts innocently. A woman asks if anyone else remembers a show that ran in the mornings around 1972. Cheap puppets, a pirate in a little paper boat, a lighthouse that talked. Within an hour, strangers are answering, "Yes, Tallow Cove. I haven't thought about that in 30 years. They remember the theme song. They remember the pirate, Captain Tallow, a grinning puppet with painted-on eyes. They remember a lighthouse keeper who narrated, and a villain the children only ever called the quartermaster. And they remember being afraid, not entertained, afraid. One man writes that he used to cry when it came on, and his mother would tell him, "It's your favorite show. You ask for it every day." Then the thread turns, because they don't just remember the show, they remember one episode. Every person describes it almost the same way. There were no adventures that day, no little paper boat. The episode was just the puppets, Captain Tallow, the lighthouse keeper, and the quartermaster, standing in a row on the empty stage, not moving, and the camera pushed in, slowly, on the quartermaster's face. And then, the quartermaster turned and looked directly out of the screen at the child watching. And he smiled, and he held the smile for the entire episode. One woman remembers her little brother screaming. Another remembers the lighthouse keeper saying one line over and over in a voice that was suddenly not a puppet's voice at all. "You have to go inside now. You have to go inside now." And the strangest detail, the one that made me keep reading, is that not one of them remembers the show ever ending. They remember watching it, and then they remember being older. Now here is where this file stops being a nostalgia thread and starts being something I had to bring to the archive. One of the people in that thread still had a tape. Her father had recorded the morning programming decades ago onto a VHS he never labeled correctly. She found it. She dug out a player, and she promised the thread she would watch it and tell them, once and for all, what Tallow Cove actually was. She posted twice more. The first post said, "Found it. The tape is queued. Pressing play." The second post, time-stamped 31 minutes later, said only this: "It's just static. The whole tape. 30 minutes of static." And then, a final line, added a minute after, the last thing she ever posted to that board. But I remember watching it. I sat there for half an hour, and the whole time, I remember the quartermaster, smiling at me, out of the static. I've spent a long time with this file, and there are 3 things about it I can't make fit. The first, I checked. There is no broadcast license, no TV listing, no surviving station log for any program called Tallow Cove, in that town, or any other, in 1972, or any year. By every record we have, the show does not exist. The second, the people in that thread had never met. Different families, different streets, some who had moved away as infants. They should not share a memory this specific. and yet they corrected each other's details. The color of the boat, the words of the song, and agreed, every time. And the third, the tape. I had it digitized by someone who does forensic media recovery. She confirmed it. 31 minutes of analog static. No hidden frames, no audio buried underneath. Nothing. But she sent it back early. She said she didn't want it in her studio overnight. She said that when you leave the static playing and you stop looking directly at it, it's easier to believe something is looking back. The message board went offline years ago. Most of the people in that thread never posted again. The woman with the tape never did. I reached out to the few names I could still trace. Most didn't reply. One did. He didn't want to talk about the show. He only asked me one question, and then he stopped answering. He asked, "When you watched the static, did the quartermaster smile at you too?" This has been The Archive. If you have a tape, a recording, a memory that doesn't match the records, you know where to send it. And the next time you find an old channel that's nothing but static, don't watch it too long. Subscribe, so you're here when the next file surfaces. And whatever you do, don't go inside.